Warning: the Savage Nation contains adult language, adult content, psychological nudity. Listener discretion is advised. And now, America's most exciting radio talk show, The Savage Nation, home of borders, language, culture. And here he is, winner of the National Radio Hall of Fame Award, Michael Savage.
Mama said there'll be days like this, there'll be days like this. Mama said, Mama said, Mama said, Mama said there'll be days like this, there'll be days like this. My mama said, Mama said, Mama said.
It is the Savage Nation. Well, Mama said there'd be days like this. It seems to me that Obama's legacy is living very well under Trump. 2 in 1 day. Of course, the socialized medicine bill that we were told would disappear and be rewritten, it's the same, because the GOP does not want it to change. Everyone's fat and happy with it, and they don't want any change, and of course that's not happening. But the bigger news to me is the fact, and it's a sad day that I have to tell you this. I know many of you don't want to hear it. You're going to keep saying it's fake news, fake news, fake news, fake news, fake news. It's fake news if it's anti-Trump. If he does something that we don't like, it's fake news. Well, okay, let's see if this is fake news. Trump reverses campaign promise and certifies the Iran deal. Now, the Iran deal was one of the big ones, remember? Remember that little thing with Iran? Obama the Muslim did a secret deal with the Iranian Muslims. Iran received billions of dollars in cash from the evil Obama, and that the new president would reverse that. Well, Trump just reversed his campaign promise, and he will certify that Iran is in compliance with the nuclear agreement signed 2 years ago in Vienna, according to administration officials, as reported by Fox News. But they said that Tehran will face consequences for breaching the spirit of the deal. That means nothing, of course. Now, back in 2015, President Trump, who was a candidate, said that he would scuttle the agreement. Scuttle it. In a shift from Trump's previous threat to rip up the deal with Iran, officials said the administration was working with U.S. allies to try to fix the deal's flaws with the mullahs of Iran. They're going to negotiate with him now. Really, no kidding. The late-night announcement capped a day of frenzied last-minute decision-making by the president, exposing deep divisions within his administration in handling a top national security issue, says Fox News. Late-night announcement. Late-night announcement. Trump reverses campaign promise, certifies Iran deal. Okay. So I asked myself this morning, for some reason when I got up, the word Pyrrhic victory came to my mind. You know, my subconscious speaks to me. Sometimes I'm not happy with it. Sometimes I tell it to go to hell. Leave me alone. I'm not ready for you. Just leave me alone. But today the subconscious decided to speak to me, and it said, Pyrrhic victory, Pyrrhic victory, Pyrrhic victory, Pyrrhic victory. So I thought, did we win a Pyrrhic victory with Donald Trump? Now look up what a Pyrrhic victory is. It's a battlefield triumph that comes at so great a cost that it proves to be more ruinous for the victor than the vanquished. And of course, you may remember some of this. Yeah, right, you'll remember some of it. Talk radio audiences can remember it from what, grade school? The term takes its name from the disastrous successes achieved by the Greek conqueror Pyrrhus of Epirus. I guess you didn't read that when you were listening to rap music. You didn't learn what a Pyrrhic victory was, or when you're busy studying baseball scores instead of going to college, or when you're busy with a hammer putting up wallboard. I guess you didn't study the word Pyrrhic victory. What you can do is say, cuck. You're a conservative. You're not a conservative. You're not conservative. It's fake news. I don't know what you're talking about, but it's fake news. I just know that because it's not good. I don't like hearing it, so it's fake news. You're a traitor. You're not doing the right thing. You're telling stories. You're making it up. Even though it's true, it's false because we want it to be false, so it is false. So today he certified the Iran deal, told us that he was going to rip up, and the administration is using the excuse that they meet the technical requirements, but they're still bad actors, whatever that means. Oh, yeah, right, okay. What does that mean? This is the same same day that the health care bill imploded in the Senate. Is that a coincidence? Well, I'm not so sure it's It's by accident, by the way, that they both imploded on the same day. I'm starting to think that the Obamacare deal was meant to blow up so they cover up the Iran deal. So we have the Obama legacy living on to fight another day. Now, this was the president who told us he was going to stop all of this. Obamacare lives, the Iran deal lives, Planned Parenthood is still being funded. Remember that one? The massive tax code no one understands still lives. NAFTA is still in place. Yesterday, they said they're going to increase 15,000 more work visas for H-2B visas. We looked into that. We can't even understand where the jobs are going. Except there's one little hint that worries me even more about that. The H-2B visas, 15,000 more are going to be issued by the Department of Homeland Security for reasons nobody understands. I try to understand where the jobs were going to go. Yesterday, I thought they were going to Silicon Valley. But no, that's not where they're going. They're going to hotel and country club jobs. Oh, put 2 and 4 together and come up with liberals are bad, Obama's bad, he did it. It's Obama who owns those country clubs and hotels. Hillary owns the country clubs and hotels. I pray to God that they're not going to those country clubs. That's all I can do is pray. Border wall, check no. Tariffs on China, check no. Military still one big social experiment, check yes. Wow. Well, I'm waiting for the Obama legacy to be destroyed, but it's being allowed to stay. I thought we were promised that we would be winning so much we would get tired of it. Well, I'll tell you what I'm tired of. I'm tired of waiting for the winning to begin. Now, as I told you, and I may delete my Twitter account very shortly. It's basically filled with people who have nothing else to do in their life. The people I know who actually make a living don't tweet. I don't know how the president has time to do it, since most people I know who work don't tweet. Now, I tweet a little bit because it's part of my business being in the media. So all I did was tweet, Trump certifies Obama's Iran deal. It's a fact. In other words, I didn't make it up. Take a guess what the morons wrote. I got to read some of this to you to show you what a waste of time Twitter is. All I did was I tweeted a fact. I didn't make it up. It wasn't an opinion. It was a fact. Trump certifies Obama's Iran deal. So what did the bots start in? Why are you turning into a propagandist? Another one said, let's see. Stop spreading BS, savage. Gorka said it makes no sense. Gorka. 2 days ago, Gorka was Mr. Hawk. Today, Gorka became the sign of the dove. You can't believe what Gorka said. Gorka was like Mr. Conservative. Great guy. So I thought. Now, all of a sudden, Gorka's taking the other side, that it's not really what it appears to be real. So now someone writes, here's an intelligent one. Uncle Mike, I'm thinking 10% that you promised might be 2%. See, he actually heard me. Remember toward the end I said, look, I know he's a social liberal. I also know that Trump's a centrist, but it's still better than Hillary. All right, that was my justification. And I said, if we get 10% of what we want, that'll be better than what we got with her. It'd be 110% more than with her. Now he says it might be 2%. So the guy writes, getting angry and feeling used. I should have ignored this election like I always have. Shame on me. Another one writes, you can't always get what you want. Black pill for sure. There's plenty of positives happening, though. Okay, that's fair enough. Bill Lawrence says, why? Trump repeatedly called it a horrible deal. Terrible, utterly terrible, says the next one. Next one. Then there's others that are more terrible than that. Patrick Hostess writes, make Iran great again, huh? He's a military veteran. He says, Iranian bombs killed my friends in the Iraq war, but apparently my government doesn't give a damn. That's a veteran. That's not just a Twitterer who doesn't know what he's talking about. Bernadette wrote, death to America, as they like to say in Iran. Wow. I thought it was a bad deal. Another one writes, maybe it's actually a pretty good deal. See, here we go. Randall says, D.C. sells us out to the highest bidder daily. Clinton gave the North Koreans dollars for nukes, and Obama gave dollars to Iran for nukes. Thank you, Democrats. Yeah, okay, we know that. We understand that, but why did Trump certify it then? Here's an apologist says, no, he didn't. His administration certified Iran as compliant with the Iran deal. It's the deal that sucks, and it wasn't Trump's. See, that's called an apologist. They're smiling in Iran all the way to the Halavar stand. U.S. certifies that Iran is meeting terms of nuclear deal. The halava is flowing in Tehran. But officials say Trump plans to impose more sanctions over other issues. Right, okay. Sean Becker writes, honestly, what should he do? Obama gave them the money already, took away the sanctions. If we rip the deal now, we won't even have checks, okay? Oh, so let Hitler invade another country. We can't do anything now. It's true that Hitler invaded Poland, and he invaded Czechoslovakia, but we can't stop him now. What should we do now? Let Hitler keep invading. He's not that bad a guy. You know what I mean? Not that bad a guy. I mean, they wear nice, snappy uniforms designed by Dior or whoever. Well, Boss, I think Boss designed the uniforms. They're not bad guys. I mean, they speak German, so what? Let him invade one country. What does it have to do with America? See, there's another apologist. Another one writes, we the American people are in so much trouble from within. Another one writes, that's America. Michael, we support you. Stay on Twitter. I'm not so sure it's worth it when you have such dumb people who don't even read the news story and then attack you. I didn't make up the news. I didn't even give you an opinion. I read you the news story, and yet they attacked me anyway, the idiots. Why? Because they don't work for a living. So Obama's legacy is bicycling on here. Trump certifies Obama's Iran deal. To me, that's a big deal. Trump administration says Iran complying with nuclear deal. Signed 2 years ago in Vienna. Now what? We're going to wake up tomorrow. He'll sign the Paris Accords because he liked Macron's wife's body. Yes, if she got a nice body, let's sign the Paris deal. What the heck? I feel good about that today. Wait, but you said it was bad. No, but she's a cool chick. She's got a nice body. All right, we're signing that deal. And you say, what, I'm a bad guy for saying that's wrong? Something got to change. Look, it's like the captain of the ship is running the ship along say, we got the ship back with a new captain. Now, Obama was running our ship of state against the ice, and the ship was about to break up. So we put a new captain in there called Captain Trump. So now the new captain has his hand on the wheel, but instead of steering away from the iceberg, he's sitting there tweeting. And you're sitting there telling me I have no right to tell him to steer away from the iceberg. Does that analogy work for you or not? No. Still don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know. Some people take the whole summer off. Maybe I should take the summer off. Maybe when I come back in September, things will be better. I try to tell you what a Pyrrhic victory was. You thought I was talking about prunes or something. A prune, a type of prune, Pyrrhic. That's all you learn in broadcasting school. Pyrrhic. What does Pyrrhic mean? I never studied that. That's a liberal term. I don't like liberal words like that. It shows he's a commie and a Marxist. What's he using big words for, like Pyrrhic? What's he trying to impress us for? What does it even mean? What does it matter? What does it matter? All I know how to do is put a nail into a wall board. That's what's important. So I'll tell you what a Pyrrhic victory is. Battles of Heraclea and Asculum, the Battle of Malplaquet. Interested in any of that? Nah, come on. That's ancient history. Battle of Bunker Hill, not interested. Not a Pyrrhic victory, never heard of it. Battle of Borodino under Napoleon, not interested. Battle of Chancellorsville, Civil War, not interested in that crap. Come on, stop telling us about this stuff. We're not interested in Pyrrhic victories. Just keep saying liberals are bad. And fake news, that's all we want to hear you say is fake news. CNN no good. Fake news, fake news. Fake news, fake news. CNN no good. Don't tell us about Pyrrhic victory in history. Who do you think you are? Who do you think you're talking to? Fake news. Fake news. This is the Savage Nation. I'm having a wonderful day. I'll be right back.
Join the Savage Nation. Call now, 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-7282. Savage.
The Savage Nation is sponsored by Swiss America, the only company I trust with my financial future. Call 800-289-2646 or SwissAmerica.com. So we read last night, late at night, of course, before the tweeting began in the middle of the night, that I almost said the Obama administration. What is it now? The Trump administration. Yeah, the Trump administration certified the Iran deal. Remember how bad that was supposed to be? Bad deal. We're going to rip it up. Rip it up. Hang her. Rip it up. Lock her up. Rip it up. Lock her up. Let's all chant together. Rip her up. Lock her up. Blah, blah, blah. So now people are mad at me. Someone writes, Terry, a Twitter writes, sadly, I've officially stopped reading your book, Trump's War. I will not listen to your show anymore. I didn't elect you president. Hey, Terry moron. Terry moron. I'm in the media. I'm not an apologist for any politician. And let me tell you something else. The day I become that, I'll quit radio. So, yeah, you see, my job is to actually be on the outside looking in and to criticize even people we helped elect when they go off course. Do you understand that's my job? Do you know what a job is? No, I guess you don't. You want me to sit here like someone with a hammer and nails putting up wallboard every day, putting a wallboard up around Donald Trump and saying, don't look inside that little tunnel I'm building around him, or I won't listen to you anymore. We don't want to hear what's going on. Okay, look, you people get what you deserve if you're this stupid. I said, read the story about Trump certifying the Iran deal for yourself. And I said, how many times can you keep mumbling fake news? And I try to tell you what a Pyrrhic victory was. It went right over the heads of these haters on Twitter. What is a Pyrrhic victory? A triumph that comes at so great a cost that it proves to be more ruinous for the victor than the vanquished. That's a Pyrrhic victory. That's what we're looking at right now. And the original Pyrrhic victory came as a result of a Greek battle. Greek king Pyrrhus of Epirus, who was undone by his take-no-prisoners costly battles against the Romans. 280 BC, Pyrrhus invades Italy. And he beats them. He arrives with a force of some 25,000 men and 20 war elephants. The first war elephants the Roman legionnaires had ever seen. They never saw them before. And the Greek king, Pyrrhus, immediately scored a victory in his first battle at Heraclea. Second time he beats the Romans again. He thought he was a latter-day Alexander the Great. But he routed the Romans, but he lost more than 7,500 of his most elite fighters, including many officers. He couldn't replace his casualties. That's called a Pyrrhic victory. You understand what I'm saying to you or not?
Join the Savage Nation. Call now, 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-7282. Savage.
All right, many of you don't understand that you're in the first stage of grief over the presidency. And as I tried to tell you yesterday, again, maybe it's a little too highfalutin. Like, how dare I bring up the word Pyrrhic victory? I mean, if the language level and the, let us say, the demand level is above that of a 9-year-old, I understand talk radio seems to falter. People switch the dials and they go to sports or music. So if you want me to keep appealing to the lowest common denominator, forget about it, because there's no way I can do that. You have other options for that, many. You have options for that all day long, if you like 8th, 9th grade talk radio. There's plenty of it around. So I'll do what I do, what I've been doing, and that's it till I stop doing it, till I'm off the air. And I'm not going to be off the air in the near future. That's up to God. And somebody up there likes me, let me tell you that, because there's been a lot of impediments thrown in my way, and every one of them has disappeared. I'm not going anywhere. And just because I helped elect Trump doesn't mean I have to sit here and lick his boots. I am not on Fox News. And I have a great education and a great intellect, and I'm going to use it every day on this show. Whether you like it or not, I will not resort to becoming a bootlicker, an apologist, like some are becoming. It's sickening. It's one thing to support Trump over and over again when it is his enemies who are undermining him. But when he's undermining himself, what should I do? Say, Captain, jawohl? Jawohl, Captain. That is not an iceberg you are grinding up against. That is fake news. That iceberg is a fake iceberg. And the other officers are sitting there biting their nails saying, but we hear the plates coming off the ship. No, fire them. They're disloyal. They're Democrats. They're Marxists. How dare they say the plates are coming off the ship because we're grinding against the same iceberg that Captain Obama set us on this course. He did it. He did it. He did it. Fake news, fake news, fake news. CNN, fake news. 5 stages of grief. Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. So many of you who don't understand that I'm actually trying to get the captain to steer us off the iceberg are in denial. You're not even in anger yet. But when you leave denial, there's going to be a firestorm in this country. When Eddie actually wakes up, he's going to be so angry, I don't know what's going to happen in this country. See, Eddie's got nothing so far, as usual. He got screwed by everybody. Oh, Eddie was told there were going to be factories in West Virginia. There's going to be a wall stopping the illegals from coming in. I mean, they're dancing the mariachi over the border now. Yeah, oh yeah, plenty of tequila being poured. Oh, well, we're going to make them pay for it, right? Sure. They're paying for the wall. What wall? And don't you worry, all you people who work for a living and are taxed to death. We're gonna get rid of that complicated tax code. We're going to rewrite the tax code. We're cutting taxes on businesses. Corporations pay too high a tax, highest taxes in the Western world, blah, 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 blah. So now they blew all of their political capital on this garbage Obamacare. Everything upside down. First, they wasted their time on the Muslim ban. You can thank Steve Bannon for that. A real help he is to this president. Wow. What an advisor he is. Looks like he's in a perennial bender. Oh, but listen, Clinton is still apparently more unpopular than Trump, according to the latest article. That's good news. That's great. New audio details moments after cop fatally shot woman who called 911. Oh, get me the audio. Go to the New York Post, guys. Robert, get it now. Beautiful young mother. Reports a burglar up there in Minneapolis. Cop car comes. They go drive in the back of the house through an alley. She comes out in pajamas to talk to the cops on the passenger side of the police car, no less, where she is standing. No, she comes over to the side of the car where the cop is driving the car to talk to him. In pajamas now, the mother. And there's a cop in the passenger seat who apparently is either stoned, high, crazy, kills her by firing through the door of the police car. I don't know how he didn't hit the other cop. I know I can't say it. I guess I shouldn't. I know it's a very upsetting thing. Sounds racist. Somali immigrant cop who was highly celebrated by Minneapolis mayor in 2015 has 3 major complaints against him. Minneapolis Muslim cop who shot woman in cold blood had 3 complaints against him. Okay, but no, sorry, can't look at that story. What does his Muslim heritage have to do with him killing that innocent woman? Nothing. Well, no. Why was he made into a cop? Because he was such a sterling character? Because he was better than the other applicants? Check both of those, no. He was made a cop because he was a Somali. That's what they needed, is diversity. They needed affirmative action in the 2-white police force. Can't say that either, I guess. See, whatever you say in talk radio, you're going to make enemies. No friends. You don't make any friends in this business. If you want friends, let me tell you something, boys and girls. Never go into the media. Whether it's talk radio or anything else, never go into the media. You see? Okay. How about that KC-130 airplane that went down in Mississippi? Was it last week? Gee, I forgot. Remember there's a KC-130 that blew up and fell out of the sky? No report on that. Who was aboard that one? Why did that happen? Wait a minute. What about that Navy ship about, I don't know, was it 3 million years ago? No, it was 3-4 weeks ago. A U.S. warship smashes into a freighter, or a freighter smashes into the ship. I mean, I drive a small 25-foot boat. I have radar. I have warning devices. I have bells that go off, a single-handed boat. I've driven 65-foot boats that were 40 tons in length, in width, in weight. 40 tons, 80,000 pounds laden with fuel and water. I've taken them out to the sea. We have warning devices, even on pleasure boats. But if you have a warship that costs billions of dollars, Capitan, and you get struck by a freighter and there's no report on it, it means there's a cover-up by the new military. Yeah, the new military-industrial complex. Where is the report on the tanker, on the ship? Nowhere. Nowhere to be seen. Obamacare. Trump should reopen extortion 17 case, said Savage. Went nowhere. except the families who are still crying over the dead. They're the only ones who heard that show. So let's go back to the 5 stages of grief, originally theorized by Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. This was a big deal in 1969. It was written in 1969 on death and dying. It was a very important book because everyone said, yeah, that's true. Like when I went through a divorce, I went through these 5 stages. When I lost my boyfriend, I went through these 5 stages. When I was told I have terminal cancer, I went through the 5 stages. Everyone said, yeah. Denial. First you say, no, it's not happening. It's not me. I don't have cancer. She's not leaving me. No, he didn't ditch me. That's denial. You get that one? Is that okay so far? We all follow denial? Yes, we're all with. Now attack me for saying denial. How dare you say there's denial? We're not in denial. Next one is anger. Then you get mad. And you say it's not happening. First you deny it's happening. Then you get mad that it's happening. You curse the woman. You curse the guy. You curse God. The next thing you bargain. God, please don't give it to me. Please. Honey, please come back. I'll turn my email. Please, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean to say that. I didn't mean to do it. That's bargaining. Then you go into a deep depression. And you become a Bernie supporter. What you want is socialized medicine to get even with people who have a better life than you do. And then finally you go into acceptance and say, what can I do? She left, he left, I left, we left, they left, he left. And then finally you accept it. So what am I telling you that for? Because it's the same politically. Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance. Right now, many of the Trump supporters are in total denial. I'm a couple of stages past that. I'm past denial, I'm past anger, I'm past bargaining. I think I went through them all at once. Depression, I was there. I was a little bit. But I've since accepted he's another politician. That's all. So I've accepted, that's all. His administration is just, you can blame anyone you want. You know, I have a big sticker on my computer that I put here from the day he won. Attack rhinos, not Trump. So I did that. Then I put that sticker down. Attack rhinos, not Trump. How long can I blame the Republican Party? If he is the president, he has to have the ability to override even his own party. He has to have the skills. You know, there was a president named Lyndon Baines Johnson way back when in the dark ages. He was a Democrat, big guy from Texas. LBJ was known as a deal maker. He could make a deal with the devil. He could get anyone to do what he wanted. He knew how to horse trade in Congress. They didn't like him, but he did deals even with Republicans. He knew how to trade. Now, I elected Trump. I helped elect Trump because I thought a great businessman who knew how to negotiate would be able to navigate. If you can negotiate, you should be able to navigate. But if you're not even navigating, what good is the negotiating? Okay, so what do you want me to do here? Sit here like a guy with a hammer and wallboard, building up a false box around myself and around the president and telling you not to look inside that box? I'm not going to do it. It's not in my nature. I'm sorry if I disappoint you, but that's not me. So remember when Bush was president, I was a devout critic from very early on because I saw what he was doing. I was attacked roundly for months and months and months. They called me every name under the sun, the Bush bots. You're an underminer, you're this, you're that, you're working for the Democrats. And eventually everyone saw that Bush was a party man, a Republican, an RNC guy all the way, and they said, all right, you're right. So we got rid of him. So what's the conclusion here? There is actually a conclusion to be drawn. I think I've come to it, which is that it doesn't really matter who wins at a certain point. It almost seems to me that we're like like England, where the president is only a titular figurehead, and that the government runs itself. It runs on its own, in its own direction. And that's the way it's been for a long time. Presidents are just like the Queen, a figurehead, a royal figurehead. And we think that, they're for us. And one party here, he's mine. He's ours. But at the end of the day, it seems to me a lot of them are sort of impotent from the beginning. Obama was not, though. He was so skilled and such a liar and such a steadfast. The man could do anything. He was such a salesman. In fact, the latest poll is very intriguing. I got to read this to you. You'll never believe this. Where is this? I just saw this a second ago. I read so much, but I get distracted. I try to go back to the story. Then they have the nude pictures on the right side. Everywhere you go, there's like softcore pornography in these newspapers, like in the right panel of the Daily Mail. I'm trying to read a serious story. This one's bathing suit fell off in Mexico. That one got hit by a wave. That one can't get out of an airplane seat. I never saw anything like this. You're trying to read a story. It's like crazy. Kid Rock begins outlining platform. This guy, Raid, I can't wait for a... Who was this guy? He was President Trump's guest at the White House. That one's going to run for office now? Why not? Figures if Trump won, why can't he? Maybe I'll throw my hat in the ring. I'll run. I'll run like from a fire. I'll run away from it. Who would want a job like that? Yeah, I want it all my life. Senator Savage, great. That's what I want to be, like Al Franken. The guy gave up a good career as a bad comic to become a worse politician. Who would want to leave a bad career as a comedian, a terrible, rotten, ugly comedian, and become a senator, but Al Franken? What good did it do him? What does he get out of it? I don't even understand why anyone would want to be in office. That's why we don't attract the best and brightest. You know, it's like, who would want that job? Would I want to be a senator? Let's say I say, I'm throwing my hat in the ring. I'm running for office. Yeah, Mike, run. Well, I could raise $100 million in 3 months. You want me to tell you that right now? 3 months I could outraise anybody that I ran against. But I'm not going to do it. Why would I want to be in the Senate? What for? I want to move to Washington, rent a townhouse, live near Jared Kushner and Ivanka, not get invited to cocktail parties. Well, let's say if I did get invited to some. What's the difference? Every night I'm going to put on shoes? I don't wear shoes now if I can avoid them. Why would I want to be a senator? I have to put on a suit and tie every day and listen to the hogwash. Why? Can't ever express what you really believe because you won't last too long. Oh, I got to tell you a story. I'll tell you when I come back. I remember once I was invited to a luncheon, a Republican luncheon by Sonny Bono. Remember him? Great, great guy, Congressman Bono. It was the early days of the Republican Revolution in the 90s. I was early on in radio. I had created a firestorm here in San Francisco on KSFO. It was an exciting time to be in radio, I got to tell you that. So he invited me to Washington. My wife and I went to the congressional dining room. And I'll tell you about a behind-the-scenes meeting I went to, if I can remember it after the ads that are coming up in whatever. And I'll be back, and I'm going to tell you what happened at that closed-door meeting. I'll tell you now because I'll forget it at 80 minutes from now. No, I'm going. Okay, I'll be back.
Join the Savage Nation. Call now, 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-7282. Savage.
The Savage Nation is sponsored by Swiss America, the only company I trust with my financial future. Call 800-289-2646 or SwissAmerica.com. Of the news, there's one quick side note. Cybercrime. Okay, it's a big business. It touches almost everyone. A recent FBI report says that people across the country lost how much? $1.07 billion to internet crimes alone and scams associated. Businesses that wire transfer payments showed the biggest losses, followed by romance fraud, and goods ordered online but never received. That's third place. The highest number of victims, 67,000 in goods ordered, never received. Someone's identity is stolen every 2 seconds. It can be stolen in ways you may not detect if you're only monitoring your credit. Thieves could sell your information on the dark web or get an online payday loan in your name. LifeLock detects a wide range of identity threats. And if there's a problem, a U.S.-based identity restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses. We know that. So I want you to act now and get the added protection of Norton Security for free for the first year when you bundle Norton and LifeLock memberships. Plus, for a limited time, you'll also get a special 15% discount, 15 off the first year of your LifeLock membership. All you got to do is call 1-800-LifeLock with my code SAVAGE, or go to LifeLock.com or use promo code SAVAGE15. That's SAVAGE15. Did you hear that? Means you're going to get 15% off. LifeLock.com. Code SAVAGE15. Terms do apply. Where am I? 50 seconds left. I'm very fired up right now. Oh, so I got 47 seconds. I'm watching the end of the hour clock. This is a business about timing. Either you have it or you don't have it. So if you're a clod, it was never meant for the business. You don't know what timing means. You have no idea what it means. I do. So I'll start the story, and I'm going to test myself now. 30 seconds. So I go to that dinner, the luncheon with the Republicans, you see, with Sonny Bono, and they close the door, and the leader of the House Republicans lectured the newcomers, the new hot young conservatives, and he said, listen to me, Sonny boys. You do it our way, or you'll be out in the cold where you came from. You got it? Don't think that you're here to do what you want to do. You got it, boys? You'll get no committees. You'll get no funding. You do it our way, or you're going to go out in the cold. Now you understand what's going on?
Join the Savage Nation. Call now, 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-7282. Savage. Warning: the Savage Nation contains adult language, adult content, psychological nudity. Listener discretion is advised. And now, America's most exciting radio talk show, The Savage Nation, home of borders, language, culture. And here he is, winner of the National Radio Hall of Fame Award, Michael Savage.
Master of puppets. Thank God for our artists. Thank God for our artists. Now, I'm going to give the challenge to everyone in the media. I start every show, if I can remember, and it's not every day, I try to, by putting my hand on the Holy Bible that I've had with me for over 40 years, with the numerous Post-its in it, which you will see when God, Faith, and Reason comes out in October. And I make a little prayer, making believe I'm in a court of law. And I say, I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God. I give you the savage challenge to everyone in the media. I don't care what division you're in. Why don't you take out a Bible and swear in it to yourself? Not for effect that you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Why don't you see if it doesn't affect you positively, because it will. You'll find out that if you break free of the chains of your boss and of thinking over who's listening, what's he going to say, what are they going to tweet, just tell the truth the way you see it. And see if the country doesn't get to be better. That's all. So what we're talking about, did we win a Pyrrhic victory with Trump? Obamacare dead. Deal with Iran certified, even though he said he'd rip it up. No wall, no tax relief yet. It's early, I get it. So I told you what a Pyrrhic victory is, which is you win the battle, but at such great cost that in essence, you lose the war. You win the battle, but you lose the war. According to the ancient historian Plutarch, the warrior king, the Greek, the warrior king Pyrrhus, won so many battles against the Romans, but he lost so many great men that morale plummeted within his own ranks. And so according to the ancient historian Plutarch, the warrior king Pyrrhus was quoted as muttering the following: if we are victorious in one more battle with the Romans, we shall be utterly ruined. So what am I getting at? What I'm getting at is, yes, Trump has done some good things. Don't get me wrong. I know we got this guy Gorsuch in, but I'm not so sure about him, incidentally. I think it's another Roberts in disguise, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. I think we're going to get another Roberts job. So I could list Trump's achievements to date, no question about it. There are some very good ones. But I don't like the direction we're going in. I can be positive. I can list Hillary's lies and how bad it would have been under her. I've done that. But what's the point of how long can we keep doing that? There was a time we have to stop that, right? So, okay, fine. So there's been some victories. We got them. Good. And Hillary's terrible. She would have been worse. Got it. We know he's not yet built the wall, has not repealed Obamacare, not cut taxes, not fixed the military. It's still a social experiment. What about the Iran nuclear deal? Oh, I'm sorry, he just certified it. Duh. I guess now I'm a communist because I said that. He has not unified the country. Can't blame him for that. Has the Veterans Administration been fixed? I doubt it. Any new trade deals? Not pulled out of NAFTA. Has he eliminated Common Core education? Has he removed Syrian refugees who flooded in under Obama? Has he stopped them from coming in? Any tariffs on China? Dreamer program, has it been eliminated? Has he eliminated the H-1B visa program? Has he enacted term limits? Has he appointed a prosecutor to lock her up and investigate Hillary? Has he gotten rid of all the Obama holdovers in the government? Has he defunded Planned Parenthood? Has he defunded NPR? Has he broken up Apple, Google, Microsoft, and Amazon, the monopolies that continue to grow? Okay, I'm just leaving the questions out there. Why? Because I'll get out the Bible again. I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. If it's unpleasant, I can't help it. So here's what I mean by a Pyrrhic victory. So Plutarch says that King Pyrrhus, after winning so many battles, said, if we are victorious in one more battle with the Romans, we shall be utterly ruined. Here's what's coming during the midterms. Unless the captain of the ship steers us off the iceberg that Obama steered us on, I should say Obama and the Republicans steered us on, to be perfectly fair. In other words, the establishment steered us onto the rocks or onto the iceberg, hired Trump, a can-do man, businessman. He was supposed to steer the ship of state off the iceberg, and I hear the plates grinding, and they're coming off the ship. Unless we can make him steer the ship off the iceberg, what's going to happen is this. It's a metaphorical iceberg, obviously. Midterms are coming, bloodbath. Bloodbath, we get a total left-wing fanatic, someone as close to Maduro or Castro in America that you'll never believe. It'll make Bernie Sanders look like a fiscal conservative if this keeps up. And the only thing that can save us from this is if Captain Trump firmly gets control of the wheel of the ship of state and steers us off the iceberg instead of going along with the power structure, meaning the rhinos and the Dems. Now, I'll just stick to this for one more minute. The Dems could easily beat the Republicans in a bloodbath in the midterms. I'm glad they don't listen to me, so I'll like whisper a little secret to my little audience. Shh, don't tell the Democrats what they have to do to win. Don't you dare hear. They don't listen to me because I'm a right-wing crackpot. They don't hear a word I say because I didn't write 29 books. No, they don't listen to me because the last 5 books were New York Times bestsellers. They don't exist. It's fake news that they were number 1 New York Times bestsellers or number 2 or number 3. That's fake news. I have a PhD from a great university. That's fake news. 2 master's degrees, fake news. Years of research, fake news. So they don't listen to me because I don't exist. I'm not on Fox News. So I don't exist. But since they don't listen to me, I'll give you a little hint of how they can win, since they're not listening. There was a guy who ran in the beginning of the campaign against Hillary. Remember, there was Schmendrick Bernie. He was put in there as a fall guy for Hillary. He was put there to make her look good. The crackpot with the crumpled suit and the seltzer bottle. And so then there was another guy who could have won. They threw him off the stage within the first 3 weeks. Remember his name? Bet you forgot his name. The establishment Democrats got rid of him because he was too centrist. Who remembers his name? I'm going to get flooded with calls. Former Secretary of the Navy, military veteran, centrist, could have won. Centrist Democrat, actually a conservative centrist Democrat could have won and could win again. If they let him run again, if he's even interested, he wins. Smashes the opposition, it pulverizes them, and then there's a bloodbath in the Senate and the House. That's what I mean by a Pyrrhic victory. Remember him? No one remembers. Okay. All right, let's move on. Okay, what do we want to talk about? So many other things. So you see, here's the thing about radio. There's so many things that you can talk about and that you have to stay like, okay, what should I talk about? Let's stay focused on this. So I spent the whole hour on Pyrrhic victories. I gave you a little background, foreground, upground, downground. But yesterday I spent 3 hours talking about H-2B visas. Why did Trump authorize 15,000 new foreign workers? I didn't understand it. They're not even tech workers. Where are they going? We try to find out. I think we got the answer. Sean on KSFO knows where those new workers are going. Sean on line 1, are you there? Welcome to the Savage Nation from KSFO. Where are all these H-2B visa workers going to work, Sean? Because there's almost no need for workers in most industries.
Right. They're unskilled workers. the vast majority of them go to landscapers, hotels, restaurants. There are a few of them that the one place where I think they're really needed is the crab picking industry, Maryland, Delaware, or Maryland, North Carolina. Those guys, they're so far out of the way, they can't keep any workers. They've tried all kinds of things, but, restaurants.
So what? So the H-2B visas are going to go to foreigners who'll take those jobs on crab boats?
What's that? Yeah. No, they...
Wait. I don't understand this because Joe DiMaggio's father was a crab fisherman here in San Francisco. It used to be kind of an honorable blue-collar profession. You're saying Americans aren't crabbers anymore?
They're not crab pickers for the most part. These little towns, like in Maryland here, for example, they're so set off from the towns and cities, the bigger towns and cities.
Well, we're not talking about a sexually transmitted disease here, so I don't know how you got into crab pickers.
What's that?
No, I just try to tell a joke. Go ahead.
Sorry. But yeah, I know for a fact that they've done all kinds of things to get, workers in here, but they've been lobbying for a special exemption from the program so they don't have to be lumped in with a cap for all these other landscapers and hotel
So
workers.
there's 66,000 H-1B visas as it is. Is this H-1 or H-2B? Robert, I forgot from yesterday. H-2? H-1 or H-2? H-2B visas. We looked into the job categories because the Department of Homeland Security gave a speech yesterday saying it'll provide as many as 15,000 additional H-2B visas for temporary seasonal workers. You believe they're mainly in the fishing industry?
No. That's a real small percentage of them.
So where are they going then?
They're the ones that need them the most.
Okay, but where else do you think they're going? What are the jobs?
They go to landscapers, landscaping companies because they're a seasonal job. They go to pool companies, the ones that maintain the pools in the summertime. They go to restaurants. I'm close to Ocean City, Maryland, and, restaurants. Actually, I worked with it. Restaurants down there kind of use them. They're a stable worker.
So how did they lobby the Trump administration in a time like this when there's still a lot of guys out of work? Politically, this is not a very good thing for Donald Trump to increase the number of H-2B visas. It doesn't look good, does it?
No, I'm really shocked. I'm really surprised because probably the biggest opponent of it was Jeff Sessions. He was a huge opponent. I mean, he fought all lobbying efforts to increase the cap over probably the past 10.
Right, but then the liberal Department of Homeland Security Department, General Kelly, announced it with glee yesterday.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. So in other words, it's mainly jobs I'm hearing that Americans wouldn't take.
For the most part, but it's people will take them, but there's a high turnover rate, so it makes it easier for the employers.
Of course they won't take them. If you have a welfare system, why should they work when they can sit on their behind and drink a beer or smoke a joint and collect a check and fake the number of people in their house to get more money without working? Nobody wants menial jobs anymore because we got a welfare state. So there's a simple answer to that, too. Cut the damn welfare and make them go to work on a crab boat.
Right.
That's all. That's a solution. Thank you. Why, there's no solution when no one took the jobs? I said Joe DiMaggio's father was a crab fisherman. But do you think he wanted to go out every day to the crab pots? He had to. Many Italians were in that business. In fact, if you go down to Fisherman's Wharf today in San Francisco and you see the crab boats, of course, there's no Italians in the business anymore. They've moved on in society. It's mainly Vietnamese fishermen. And there's a little chapel on the end of a pier. I remember going to see it outside of a restaurant there. On a Sunday morning once, I was down there. And you see all the the church was built by the Italian people for the Italian fishermen to pray before fishing and all of that. Well, now since it's mainly Mexicans and Central Americans and Vietnamese, the Mexicans mainly go in that church. You should see it on Sunday morning with the families, with the little girls in the dresses. It's actually very beautiful to see. So there is a little march of the generations and of the ethnic groups. I get that. But I don't know why we need foreigners to do these jobs. You cut welfare and give them a choice. You're not getting your check today, Mr. Jones, unless you go out and his 4 jobs. You don't take him, the check's cut. 0. Go beg in the street. Here's a cup. You know, society could crack down on homelessness. It could crack down on drug addicts. It could crack down on a lot of things, incidentally. Then say, oh, we throw my hands up, opioid epidemic. Oh, you can't solve that one? You know, there was a time in America when there was no opioid epidemic, right? How is that possible? Well, it's simple. Again, simple solution to the opioid. Oh, I don't know what to do. First, you start by locking up the owners of the drug companies that are making the pills. Throw them in jail with a no-get-out-of-jail card. Where does the OxyContin come from? If the company that makes it produces 1 billion pills, let's say, I'm making up a number, and only 600 million of them are prescribed, and they're producing 1 billion of them, they're making 400,000 more than needed by doctors. So the guy who's making the drugs is the drug dealer. You close the company down. You throw him in jail. That's the starter. There are other solutions, too. All you need is common sense and stop talking about lock her up. And get your focus right. Don't just wring your hands and put on a hat. You could solve the problem. I don't think he has the right advisors. Here's the number one problem. Not the right advisors around him. Misadvising the president. I mean, there's a million problems in the country that he didn't create. He needs people who can sort them for him and prioritize for them. So wait, before we take a break, thank God we have so many advertisers. We're sold out on ads. Did you know that was sold out, despite what the liars say? You can't find a spot on the show. Rates are going up. Show is sold out. Never mind what the hateful, jealous people are saying about me. That's just because they're losers and jealous and copycats. I have a list here of the important things to no, I can't break. What are the most important things to the American people? You won't believe the poll of what people really want in this country. And as well, if you missed it yesterday, we're going to play the tape of a typical spoiled Harvard College graduate, that girl one by Ali Stuckey, the conservative millennial. People scream with laughter. Oh, you didn't listen? You're going to hear it when I come back.
Join the Savage Nation. Call now, 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-7282. Savage.
The Savage Nation is sponsored by Swiss America, the only company I trust with my financial future. Call 800-289-2646 or SwissAmerica.com. Our time is short and the topics are long. One quick call. Tina, WABC line 1. Go ahead and make your comment, 30 seconds or less.
I just want to defend the American workers. He's not lazy and he wants to work, but the illegal and legal immigrants that are coming to the country are working for lesser wages. And the American
Wait, hold it. I'm talking about the Trump administration saying just yesterday that they're going to grant 15,000 new H-2B visas so foreigners can take the jobs. What does that have to do with illegal aliens?
Because the HP2 visas are for farmers, hotel workers, and so forth, right? And the accusation is that the American workers don't want to do these jobs.
No, I didn't say that. No. My point is quite different. We have millions of people who don't work. They're on welfare because we have too vast a welfare system. My solution is simple. Work, welfare to work, or you're not getting your check. Who wants the job? Well, no one wants it, so make them do it. That's all.
Join the Savage Nation. Call now, 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-7282. Savage. 8.
Welcome back. We were just joking, the guys and I, during the break about the computers. I mean, you look back, how did I get so far in life before there were computers? I walked to school, rode a bus to school. I didn't do it online. Let's see, what else? Do you know there was a time in life there were no cell phones, that people walked around without every minute have to shoot their mouth off or send a text message or receive one? We actually were able to conduct our lives without them. And do you know that World War II was won without computers, by and large? You know, the George Washington Bridge, Golden Gate Bridge were built without computers. Men actually used slide rules. They actually could add and use a slide rule, primitive device. Let's see what else. They could eat their lunch without going online. They could meet a wife without going online. They went to a dance or a church group. I don't understand this. Everything's online. Online, on Twitter. Everything is virtual. Virtual death now. Virtual life, sex online, marriage online, death online. I never saw anything like that. What's next? Can I have a hangover online? Is it possible to give my computer a hangover so I don't have the headache? I'll do that one. I like that one. No, I don't think that exists yet. So I have callers there. Don't think I'm just filling up space. 855-407-282 is the phone number. If you get on the Savage Nation, you'll reach more people than you've met in your entire life. By the way, I guarantee that. I guarantee it. 855-407-282. But you got to get through Jim. Jim's difficult because he talks to you. I've told him 1,000 times, don't talk to them. Just say, what do you want to say to Michael? If they can't say it in 10 seconds, hang up. He has conversations. He thinks he has a talk show. I love Jim. But the first rule is don't talk to the caller like it's a talk show. Just say to them, what do you want to say to Michael? And if they can't answer in 5 seconds, hang up. Don't even say goodbye. Hang up. Open up the line. No. How are you? Not bad. What'd you do last night? Terrific. It was a rough day. No. I don't mean Jim does that, but it's like that. Don't give him more than 10 seconds. Make believe you're a movie director and a guy's coming in with an idea, a movie producer. Throw him out of the studio if he's not good in 10 seconds. Do you agree with this poll? What is the most important to you? Bloomberg on Monday released a poll that said more than 1 in 3 Americans think health care is the most important issue facing the U.S. today. That's crap. That's not true. But it's Bloomberg. That's number one. But okay, the full list provided by Bloomberg with their phony study, a fake study now. What they interview, like 3 people in it. Okay, anyway, the full list provided, 35% say health care is the most important. Nonsense. Jobs, unemployment, only 13%. Terrorism, 11%. Immigration, only 10%. That's a lie. Climate change, 10%. Russia, 6%. Taxes, other 4%. Trade, none of these. Not sure, 2%. I don't believe a word of this. It's a Bloomberg poll. It's subject to an error factor of at least 110%. So according to Bloomberg, Obamacare is the number one thing, health care. That's not true. Absolutely not true. What to you is the most important issue facing you? I'd like to hear it from you on the Savage Nation. Let's do our own poll that's not certified, not kosher in any way. Wouldn't pass the test of any certified poll. We're just doing a Savage caller show. What is the most important issue to you? And then we're going to take some calls that are already holding. So Valerie on KSFO, you're up on the Savage Nation. What's your point?
Hi, Dr. Savage. I just wanted to say that I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I don't get time to do much, but I make a point to listen to you because I know that you call out President Trump, and it reminds me of the Proverbs, whom the Lord loves, he corrects. And the information that you give us helps me to pray for the president when he needs correction. So I hope you continue correcting him despite what critics and Twitter might say. And I would just want to say thank you.
Thank you very much for noticing the fact that the best thing you can do for a friend is sometimes criticize them. Don't couples do that to each other? Don't just like you're married or even have a relationship after the initial romance and the bloom of the passion is over. You start to tell each other what to do. Now, sometimes you're doing it just to needle the other person. But sometimes you do it because it's positive. You love the person and you want to help them. Like, please don't chew with your mouth open when we're at a diner table because it's disgusting. Now, that can be insulting. Well, let's say you're living with someone who chews loudly and really slurps while they're eating. Or as simple as that. I mean, it doesn't mean you hate them because you tell them not to chew with their mouth open with saliva falling out of their gum. Or please, honey, can you just once remember to put the toilet seat up? I know it sounds burlesque, but I'm giving you simple ideas like that. I'm not comparing that to advising a president, but in some ways, I'm showing you can advise people without insulting them, or you can actually insult them anyway. So what? Maybe they need an insult. They're not God. So, okay, maybe you don't like it. KBET, Las Vegas. Michael, line 9. Go ahead, please.
I voted for Trump, but I think we ended up with George Bush.
That's all. So sure. Now, did you read Trump's War? Seriously, I'm not trying to peddle a book. Did you read my book?
Oh, no, I haven't.
Okay, I'm going to send it to you because it's an architectural plan for America. Remember what my book was written for. It was to, first of all, record what Trump promised, number one, which largely came from government zero and stop the coming civil war, and I'm going to prove it to you probably I may do it in this hour. I'm going to go get the plans to save America, the 14 points to save America in my previous books. I can guarantee you that the person I mentioned yesterday wrote those points in one form or another on a whiteboard in the White House to make believe they were his own. He copied my book, and he's using my battle plans for my books, and at the same time telling the president I'm a bad guy and I shouldn't be allowed in that White House to talk to him. Don't take me seriously. He ripped my whole book off. My whole program was ripped off by him. He's an imposter. And he's misguiding the president. He's steering him in the wrong direction because his optic chiasm is all mixed up. He's got everything upside down. It's one thing to copy someone. It's the other thing to know what the guy was talking about to begin with, instead of just making believe you know what you're talking about. He was nowhere a year ago. No one ever heard of him. He was an obscure nobody. All of a sudden, Trump thinks he got him elected. Well, great. Well, you ought to read the books that he copied to find out who really got him elected. I'll read them to you, and you'll make your own decision. I don't have to look over my shoulder every time I say a word now, worry if someone likes me or doesn't like me. I am a political commentator. I'm not a comedian. And that was not a joke, what I just said to you. I want this Trump revolution to get back on track, and I want the victories that we asked for. It's that simple. Read the story about Trump certifying the Iran deal. You want to attack me on that? Look what I just put on Twitter 2 hours ago. Read the story about Trump certifying the Iran deal late last night while you slept. And I wrote, how many times can you mumble the words fake news? It's real news. He certified it. Oh, we don't like it. We're going to sanction them. But, okay, they're up to code. They're good. It's like a building inspector coming in saying, oh, you know the building was in shambles. You know it never should have been built to begin with. Built with faulty materials, everything you can imagine. So he sends in a new building inspector, says, well, we don't like the building was built with garbage, but we're going to certify it for now. But we're going to sanction them to, hello, how are you? Make America hat again. So what's your biggest topic? Should I stop criticizing Trump? Sure, oh, yeah, I'll stop, right. There's no way for me to stop. I can't. I can't stop because if I stop, who's going to do it? I don't want a liberal to do it because they say everything he does is wrong. They won't give him credit for anything. At least I give credit where credit is due, but I know where he's supposed to go. And I know we can say the Republicans are blocking him, true. Democrats blocking him, true. Media's against him, true. But so what? He's the leader. He should figure a way around it. He should do deals. He's got to negotiate the deals like LBJ did. He's got to do the deals. That's what a leader does. Remember he said he was a great businessman? And he's the art of the deal, the art of the negotiation. Well, he's got to negotiate with the Democrats. He's got to negotiate with the rhinos. And he's not. I don't see any negotiation here. They're not moving with him. So watch out because the Pyrrhic victory is coming if this keeps up. We need victories or we're going to be in real trouble with it. What happens during the midterms that are coming up if we get a bloodbath going and the Republicans lose? You know why they might lose? Because you won't vote. Eddie will not vote. I'm not going to tell Eddie to go and vote. You think I'm going to go out there again and kill myself and say, oh, yeah, well, it's the last chance we have. Hold your nose and vote for him, blah, blah, blah. I don't even care. I'll sit out the election before I vote for them again. I am not a Republican. Don't confuse me with being a Republican. I am not. I am an independent. I have been from the day I started in radio. I never had a government job. I never worked in an administration. Do you understand what I just said to you? I am not a politician. I'm an independent observer of the political and other worlds. That's all there is to it. So what is the most important issue to you? Is it health care? I don't believe so. Most people are actually happy with it. They like communist health care. They love it. They even want more of it. They want more of it, more of it, more of it. They love it. They're not unhappy with it. That's why it failed. The Republicans don't want to take it away because they feel it's good for them. They get lots of kickbacks flowing back up from all the people in the middle there making billions of dollars. You think it doesn't flow up? What are you, crazy? What's the number one issue to you? Oh, I got something special for you. And it's not very pleasant to listen to. Okay, the story is so tragically nightmarish that I will refresh the story for you again. It's on michaelsavage.com, linked from Fox News and from Jihad Watch. Somali immigrant cop who was highly celebrated by Minneapolis mayor in 2015 is the one who shot that woman in her pajamas. She reported a burglar, came out of her house, waited behind the house. The cop car pulls up in the back alley. She goes to the side of the car in her pajamas, unarmed, just a woman, to talk to the officer in the driver's seat. And the other one fires his gun multiple times through the door of the police car, killing her. I don't know how he didn't strike the guy who was driving the car. Now, what you're going to hear is stunning if you listen to it. We actually have the police tapes of this terrible, terrible situation. I would not call this a tragedy. I would call this something else. I'd call it an assassination. I want you to now listen to the terrible, terrible police tapes. Cop who killed bride-to-be had 3 complaints against him. This is being swept under the rug for a number of reasons. We can't let this one go. This is a shocker, and it goes well beyond Minneapolis. Let's listen right now to the 911 call.
Squad 530 to 5024 Washburn Avenue South. Female screaming behind the building.
530, shots fired. Can we get EMS code 3 Washburn and 51st Street? We got one down.
Copy, shots fired at Washburn and 53rd Street. Correction, 51st. Sergeant to acknowledge shots fired and 1 down at Washburn. Information for 5th Precinct, a sergeant to acknowledge the sound of shots fired. 119 33rd Street West. 2 shots heard from the east.
What do you mean 2 shots heard from the east? What do you mean, from the east side of the police car, you moron, you?
Copy, 505.
New audio details moments after cop fatally shot woman who called 911. You hear how dead the voice is of the cop? Oh, shots fired, we have 1 down. Telling the dispatcher, not calmly, shots fired. Not like send an ambulance, we accidentally killed a woman here. We accidentally shot a woman, send an ambulance, helicopter, anything. Shots fired, we have 1 down. And strangely enough, the Minnesota cops had no cams on. Shots fired? Neither the officers' body cams nor the dash cam in their patrol car were turned on at the time of the shooting. This is so bad. I want to know if this was an assassination and why. I'll be right back.
Join the Savage Nation. Call now, 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-7282. Savage.
The Savage Nation is sponsored by Swiss America, the only company I trust with my financial future. Call 800-289-2646 or SwissAmerica.com. Now. Dr. Michael Savage back with you. Let's talk about blood flow just for a moment. We all know that healthy circulation is critical. We all know that. And especially as we get older, there's a way to support healthy blood flow, and that's by getting enough dietary nitrates into your body to convert into nitric oxide. Superbeets is the most convenient way to get these dietary nitrates. Just a scoop in water or a smoothie and you're all set. This is the secret to helping support healthy circulation and healthy blood pressure levels. You see, Superbeets works 3 times faster to give you results you can feel. Plus, it tastes great. It's all about blood flow, blood flow, blood flow. It's really great energy and great stamina. Within 20 minutes, you'll feel it, and I want you to feel it. So you're going to get a 30-day supply free. It comes with your first order. It's backed by a money-back guarantee. You're also going to get a free book, Beat the Odds, free nitric oxide indicator strips, so you can see the difference for yourself, and free shipping. It's a great deal. Love the results you feel. Guaranteed your money back. Call 800-481-0504, 800-481-0504, or please go to SavageLovesBeats.com. That's SavageLovesBeats.com. Joe, WABC, line 1. What's your topic, please?
Yes, I'm a retired NYPD lieutenant, and about the shooting, I know one thing for absolute fact. It's indisputable is I was not there, and I posit that you also were not there. I'm a veteran. I'm not a.
I don't care if you're a Nobel Prize winner. It's a woman in pajamas who called the police and got killed. She had no gun, and the cameras were not on. That I know for sure.
You ever hear of Eleanor Bumpers? She was a 300-pound grandmother, and when emergency.
Wait, hold on. No, this was not a 300-pound grandmother. This was a white woman, 40 years old, in pajamas, who called the cops to help her, and they killed her.
Doesn't sound like evidence to me, Dr. Savage. What I'm telling you is I'm a urban combat veteran. And
I don't care what you are. Sometimes things don't fit what you think they should fit. Maybe this Somali cop panicked. Why would he shoot her through a police car door?
I'm sorry?
Why did he kill her by shooting her through the police car door?
That remains to be seen. We'll find that out in the future. We don't.
What do you mean remains to be? Okay, then let me ask another question. Why did the Minnesota cops have their body cameras off when it's required by Minnesota law that they have them on?
No, it doesn't look good. It looks very suspicious. I don't know.
Oh, well, thank you for admitting that. It looks suspicious. Well, she's dead, number one. That's really suspicious. She's dead.
Suspicious. But it remains to be seen It has to be.
What remains to be seen? Tell me what remains to be seen. They shot and killed a woman who called them to help her. She came out in pajamas to talk to the guy in the police car, and the other one shot her dead through the door. What remains to be seen?
Okay, it's not as simple as you say. I'm telling you right now. I was a homicide detective. I've been involved in these shootings. Okay, there's a lot.
All right, so give me a scenario of what could have happened that I'm too stupid to see.
No. I'm not saying you're stupid, Dr. Savage. You're not. What I'm telling you is you've never done police work, and I did it for 21 years.
I don't care. I don't have to do police work. I have common sense, and I can see that she had no gun. They said there was no gun found. She called 911 herself, and she's dead. Isn't that enough for you that something's wrong?
I didn't say. I said things are suspicious. Okay, but what all happened? How it led to her getting dead remains to be seen. All the facts are not out.
Well, the cop who shot at the Somali American has 3 claims against him. Does that worry you a little bit?
I can't argue with you.
Noor had been sued earlier this year. He has 3 complaints against him. The Muslim cop, the Somali they celebrated so much. Could it be that he panicked and shot her because he panicked? Is that a possibility?
I agree with you 100%, but as Johnny Cox...
All right, so that to me looks like the most likely scenario.
Join the Savage Nation. Call now, 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-7282. Savage. Warning, the Savage Nation contains adult language, adult content, psychological nudity. Listener discretion is advised. And now, America's most exciting radio talk show, The Savage Nation, home of borders, language, culture. And here he is, winner of the National Radio Hall of Fame Award, Michael Savage.
It's getting near dawn. When lights close the tired eye, I'll soon be with you, my love. Give you my dawn surprise.
Love the truth. Love the truth. Love the truth. She will never, ever, ever disappoint you. Welcome to hour number 3 of the Savage Nation. And the main topics are, well, first I said, did we win a Pyrrhic victory with Trump? I explained what a Pyrrhic victory was. I direct you to the Obamacare chapter in Trump's War, which I'm not going to read to you. Read it yourself. Also, Trump reversed his campaign promise in Iran. He said it's a terrible deal. We'll rip it up. Last night, late at night, while you slept, he was certifying the Iran deal. Terrible story. And I asked you if you're grieving over the Trump presidency, and you're calling on that. And then we're talking about the poll by Bloomberg's organization saying the most important thing to most Americans is health care. That's rubbish. Jobs, 13%, healthcare, 35%, terrorism, 11%, immigration, 10%. That's absolute garbage. Climate change is in there. That's probably 1%. They say 10%. Russia, 6% is probably 1%. Taxes, 4% is probably 50%. Trade, 2%, probably 30%. So, in other words, Trump's giving you a fake, the Bloomberg people are giving you a fake poll. What is the most important issues to you? What are the most important issues facing America today? And then the incident of the police shooting, which most people in America don't know about. It's a big deal. Big deal to me. Trigger-happy cops do exist. Doesn't matter what the race may be. Now, questions came up today over why the Minnesota cops had body cameras off during the shooting of the Australian woman. Ordinary woman. Now, just ordinary woman calls them up saying that she needed help. So the cops come up in their police car. The cop car pulls up behind her house. She comes out in pajamas. If it's important to you to know, she was a white woman, about, I think, 40 years old. No gun found on the scene. And she comes up and she's talking to the driver of the cop car. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, the other cop in the passenger seat blasts away from his seat through the door of the police car and kills her with one shot. The Hennepin County medical examiner said late Monday that the woman died from a gunshot wound to the abdomen. No witnesses other than the two officers in the squad car. The woman was shot while standing alongside the car in her pajamas. The officer believed to have shot Damon is identified by his attorney as Somali-American Mohammed Noor. And so you don't want to turn this into a Muslim issue, but it is somewhat of a troublesome issue since he was so celebrated when he was hired because he filled the diversity quotient for the police department. They had to hire a Somali, and so they did. I wouldn't say it's due to his religion at all. I would say it was due to the fact that he was not qualified to be a cop, and they hired him in a rush to fulfill a quota, in plain English. The guy also has 3 complaints against him, Officer Noor, but the cameras were off. I mean, it's very worrisome. Those are some of the topics. I know you want me to say, you see, here's the problem. I know the problem very well. Believe me, this is my business. All I do is this, and I write books, nothing else. I have no other hidden agenda. I don't invest in stocks. I have no business dealings with Russia. I mean, this is it. It's all I do day and night, 24/7. Ask anyone who knows me. So I spend all my time thinking about these things. I do it for you so you don't have to do it. You have your own things to do. Of course, you can comment. Obviously, that's what you do. If I criticize Trump to try to steer him in the right direction, you'll call me names now. If I criticize a cop in a situation like this, now suddenly I'm anti-police, according to you. This is not the way it's supposed to be. My job is that of an independent observer from the outside. You want me to just sit here and what? You want dead air? I don't know what happened in that Minnesota, but let's not rush to judgment. That woman's not even dead. That's imaginary. That's put out by fake news. What do you want me to say? It's fake news? She's dead? It's very real news to her grieving family. She is dead. It's very real news that the smoking gun was found in the cop's hand. What, do we fake those news stories too? Pretty bad situation. Very bad news that Trump certified the Iran deal last night. That's another smoking gun in his hand. Very bad that the day before they certified 15,000 new H-2B visas for foreign workers to come in. Again, a smoking gun. I'm supposed to not see it? Sieg Heil? Jawohl, mein Führer? Not my show. Not a government worker. Never worked for the government. Never held a position in government. Not a partisan. Independent observer. That's what I've been doing. That's what I will be doing until God takes my breath away. So if you want to talk about those topics, it's sad. They're very sad for a summer story. But it's what it's all about, you know. So what am I going to do? Not talk about it? It's a big story. I don't know why it's not everywhere in the country. I mean, it's getting a lot of attention, this thing. I'm going to take a look at Mitch McConnell again. Mitch McConnell now. I don't care about McConnell and Ryan. I don't care about them. I'm not going to talk about Obamacare. What could be more boring? The biggest story is Trump certifies Iran deal. I've been talking about it now for 2 straight hours. It finally went up on Drudge as the lead story. It should have. U.S. slaps new sanctions on Iran after certifying its compliance with nuclear deal. Oh, okay, a wrist slap. Late at night, they certified that Iran has continued to meet the required conditions of its nuclear deal. And then they certify it, and then they give them a few sanctions. So the sanctions are nothing. They didn't stop them. The centrifuges are still spinning. They will have a nuclear weapon. And then who's the big loser of that? Now, let's take a few steps down the road. Iran gets a nuclear weapon. Who are the big losers? Saudi Arabia and Israel. That's who the big losers are. This is a big, big day. The Israelis must be very nervous today to see that the man that they thought they could trust, who sent his own son-in-law there, Jared Kushner, Orthodox Jewish guy, went there to do a peace deal. I guess he already got the Nobel Prize for that. I must have missed that. I was busy sleeping. He went there for a day on a whirlwind tour. What did he do? What was he sent there for? I had no idea what he's sending this Schmendrick there for. Who gave him the authority to be a negotiator? To me, he was like Jesse Jackson. What was he sent there for? Did I elect Donald Trump to send Jared Kushner to work out a Middle East peace deal that God himself can't work out? Jared Kushner's going to do it. Oh, here he comes, the Messiah from New Jersey. I don't know what he did there for 24 hours. But I guess he resolved the world's problems and got a Nobel Prize already. I must have missed that. So something is wrong with this whole picture. Like the whole picture is giving me a double migraine with cream on top. Okay. So foreign policy now. Is that a good thing that we certified it? Is that a good thing? You like that we certified the Iran deal. When he was running for office, he said he would rip it up. He'd tear it up. It wasn't a good deal. I'll get the tape for you if you'd like. Early in the day, Trump's national security advisor, Lieutenant General H.R. McMaster, another liberal, and Treasury Secretary Stephen Mnuchin previewed the sanctions in a closed-door meeting with representatives of Washington-based think tanks. Reporters were not invited. Sanctions. All right, let's see. What can we come up here and make it look good? Okay, cut halava imports by 10%. Think that'll fly, Steve? It don't matter. Just sanction it. Something. Halava. No pistachios. They send them, right? All right, cut the pistachios by 3%. What else do we get from them? Let's see. Halava, pistachios. What else? Nothing else. They don't make anything over there except hate. All they do is export bomb makers and hatred. All right, 20% off the bomb makers coming in. And hatred, cut down the hatred by 3%. That's a sanction. Next case. What's the next problem? Under the nuclear deal, Iran, which denied it was developing nuclear weapons. Right, they tell the truth over there, the mullahs. Agreed to sharply limit the number and capability of centrifuges used to enrich uranium. Give up nearly. But remember what happened with this? Remember, Obama's a Muslim. He's a secret plant. He's this. He sent them $170 billion in cash on pallets. Worked out a deal, impeach him. Iran deal, no good. Rip it up, throw it out. Rip it up, throw it out. Now all of a sudden he certifies it. Trump had called the deal fatally flawed and said he would either renegotiate or kill it. So who got to him on this? Who did this? In making the certification, one official said the Secretary of State and the President intend to emphasize that Iran remains one of its most dangerous threats to the U.S. and to regional stability, and to highlight the range of malign activities. Okay. And so what'd you do? You gave him a certification. You koshered him. Other signatories to the nuclear deal, Britain, China, France, Germany, Russia, and the European Union, have indicated they think it is working. So now he's joined all of the powers of the world who are on Iran's side, and now he's part of that groupthink. Well, this is not good. This is not good. You know Iran is potentially a nuclear power with this deal, and they've threatened to wipe Israel off the map, who they call Little Satan, and they call the U.S. Big Satan. So you're going to give them a nuclear weapon? Something's wrong with this picture. Now, you could say this means that the deep state is won again, as I point out in Trump's war, which I'll say over and over again, till you come to understand this is nothing new for me. Okay, I can understand what's going on here, but it doesn't look very good for the Trump administration. I'll tell you that right now. He's a lame duck in so many ways, and yet they're doing things they don't have to do. Why would they do this? Why would they certify its compliance with the nuclear deal? What, he just went to Paris, and he liked Macron and said, listen, certify that deal and join the Paris Accords on climate change? What's next? You're going to wake up tomorrow and hear, all right, he signed on to the Paris Accords, but that's okay because he did it. Can't criticize him, because then you're one of the enemies. Never criticize a cop, then you're one of the enemies. That's not the way it works in the media. We are independent observers in the media, or we're worthless, we're garbage. We don't belong. We shouldn't have a microphone. God should take our voice away if we become that. If we become just a parrot, you take a look at a guy like, I forget his guy with the straw hair, the drunk, whatever his name is on MSNBC, a guy who's made a laughing, the one who peed down the spy up his leg. He used to be what's his name? Chris Matthews. And we know he's a laughing stock like a drunk job. We know that he was a politician before the job. So what would you expect from someone who worked for Tip O'Neill for the Democrat Party, but to be a hack? If you worked in politics and you were a hack for a politician, you're going to be a hack in the media. And so you don't expect anything from them. Same thing with Tip, whatever his name is. I keep forgetting his name, straw hair. Foaming at the mouth, but you don't expect anything serious from him or real, right? But from we guys in talk radio, you expect something different. That's our whole stock and trade. Credibility, credibility, credibility. When we lose that, we have nothing. Zero. KSFO, Jody, line 8. Line 8, Jody, KSFO, you're on the Savage Nation. What's your point?
My point is that there wasn't a more strong Trump supporter delegate to the convention than I. But I'm extremely disheartened, depressed, triple migraine, and it's only getting worse. We knew from when he didn't support Flynn, we looked at him letting go of Flynn, and then the way the rest of the cabinet was develop.
All right, I understand. So you're a real Trump supporter, and you're a little disappointed, mildly disappointed, or greatly disappointed?
Greatly disappointed, and wondering, did we get chumped by Trump? Honestly, it's so hard to believe the black and white situation that we see from when he was campaigning to who he is now.
All right, so I read the 5 stages of grief. The first is denial.
Yeah.
You're past denial. You're past denial. Is that correct?
Way past.
Okay. Are you into anger?
I'm past anger.
So what phase of the mourning are you in?
I'm in complete belief and depression.
You're in phase 4. You're in depression.
What's the 5th phase?
No, you're in the 4th phase, depression. The 5th phase is acceptance.
I think I'm depressed and accepted. I'm in acceptance also because I am seeing I'm absolutely hopeless for this country at this point.
Oh, wow. Now, again, I think you need to tell the audience, we're running short of time. Tell us what you did for the Trump campaign. It's very important they hear.
I was a delegate and alternate delegate to the convention.
All right, so you're a real party worker. You killed yourself for him. You killed yourself for him, and you're in stage 5 of the stages of mourning.
Yes.
Did you ever get a copy of Trump's War and read it?
No, but
you're getting one now because I'm not giving up. In fact, I'm just starting to fight. I'm going to lobby very hard behind the scenes to get in there and see the president and sit down with my book and say, Mr. President, I'm sorry. This is what the people voted for. And you've got to now go through some of the bullet points with me. Give me 5 minutes of your time. And what you got to do is not listen to anymore to the web operator or Splay. Stop listening to them. They're missteering you. I know what the American people want from you. I have the greatest stethoscope of anyone in the political world, and I know the heartbeat of America, Mr. Trump. Here is where you have to go. Now, I have to go to a break. I'll be back.
Join the Savage Nation. Call now, 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-7282. Savage.
The Savage Nation is sponsored by Swiss America, the only company I trust with my financial future. Call 800-289-2646 or SwissAmerica.com. All right, this just in, Senator Chuck Grassley, Republican of Iowa, I would say moderate to conservative, and Dick Durbin, Democrat, Illinois, extreme leftist. They both joined together and slammed President Trump's administration for expanding the number of H-2B visas by 15,000 this year, saying that the visas which are provided to workers in non-farm labor would hold down wages for U.S.-born workers, 100% correct. And now on to the issue of Obamacare for a minute or two. Page 60, I want to read you a sentence of Trump's War, if you think I don't know what I'm talking about. Page 60 of the bestseller, Trump's War, under a realistic plan to replace Obamacare. He'd be lucky to make it out of his first term without being impeached on some trumped-up charge, no pun intended. That's a line you have to remember I wrote. And whatever he replaces Obamacare with must be spending neutral at the very least. Pay attention to what I'm about to read you. One more sentence. I know it's hard for you to pay attention when you're listening to hot air and no substance. Here's reality. Savage wrote this on page 60 of his bestseller. He's going to have to overcome resistance from liberals, neocons, rhinos, and his own liberal instincts on health care to do so. Okay, a realistic plan to replace Obamacare. Read all about it in Michael Savage's Trump's War.
Join the Savage Nation. Call now, 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-7282. Savage.
So let's go back to the 5 stages of grief, originally theorized by Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. This was a big deal in 1969. It was written in 1969 on death and dying. It was a very important book because everyone said, yeah, that's true. Like when I went through a divorce, I went through these 5 stages. When I lost my boyfriend, I went through these 5 stages. When I was told I have terminal cancer, I went through the 5 stages. Everyone said, yeah. Denial. First you say, no, it's not happening. It's not me. I don't have cancer. She's not leaving me. No, he didn't ditch me. That's denial. You get that one? Is that okay so far? We all follow denial? Yes, we're all with. Now attack me for saying denial. How dare you say there's denial? We're not in denial. Next one is anger. Then you get mad. And you say it's not happening. First you deny it's happening. Then you get mad that it's happening. You curse the woman. You curse the guy. You curse God. The next thing you bargain. God, please don't give it to me. Please. Honey, please come back. I'll turn my email. Please, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean to say that. I didn't mean to do it. That's bargaining. Then you go into a deep depression. And you become a Bernie supporter. What you want is socialized medicine to get even with people who have a better life than you do. And then finally you go into acceptance and say, what can I do? She left, he left, I left, we left, they left, he left. And then finally you accept it. So what am I telling you that for? Because it's the same politically. Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance. Right now, many of the Trump supporters are in total denial. I'm a couple of stages past that. I'm past denial, I'm past anger, I'm past bargaining. I think I went through them all at once. Depression, I was a little, a little bit. But I've since accepted he's another politician. That's all. So I've accepted, that's all. His administration is just, you can blame anyone you want. You know, I have a big sticker on my computer that I put here from the day he won. Attack rhinos, not Trump. So I did that. Then I put that sticker down. Attack rhinos, not Trump. How long can I blame the Republican Party? If he is the president, he has to have the ability to override even his own party. He has to have the skills. You know, there was a president named Lyndon Baines Johnson way back when in the dark ages. He was a Democrat, big guy from Texas. LBJ was known as a deal maker. He could make a deal with the devil. He could get anyone to do what he wanted. He knew how to horse trade in Congress. They didn't like him, but he did deals even with Republicans. He knew how to trade. Now, I elected Trump. I helped elect Trump because I thought a great businessman who knew how to negotiate would be able to navigate. If you can negotiate, you should be able to navigate. But if you're not even navigating, what good is the negotiating? So we read last night, late at night, of course, before the tweeting began in the middle of the night, that I almost said the Obama administration. What is it now? The Trump administration. Yeah, that's it. The Trump administration certified the Iran deal. Remember how bad that was supposed to be? Bad deal. We're going to rip it up. Rip it up. Rip it up. Lock her up. Rip it up. Lock her up. Let's all chant together. Rip her up. Lock her up. Blah, blah, blah. So now people are mad at me. Someone writes, Terry, a Twitter writes, sadly, I've officially stopped reading your book, Trump's War. I will not listen to your show anymore. I didn't elect you president. Hey, Terry moron. Terry moron. I'm in the media. I'm not an apologist for any politician. And let me tell you something else. The day I become that, I'll quit radio. So, yeah, you see my job is to actually be on the outside looking in and to criticize even people we helped elect when they go off course. Do you understand that's my job? I said, read the story about Trump certifying the Iran deal for yourself. And I said, how many times can you keep mumbling fake news? And I try to tell you what a Pyrrhic victory was. It went right over the heads of these haters on Twitter. What is a Pyrrhic victory? A triumph that comes at so great a cost that it proves to be more ruinous for the victor than the vanquished. That's a Pyrrhic victory. That's what we're looking at right now. And the original Pyrrhic victory came as a result of a Greek battle. Greek king Pyrrhus of Epirus, who was undone by his take-no-prisoners costly battles against the Romans. 280 BC, Pyrrhus invades Italy. And he beats them. He arrives with a force of some 25,000 men and 20 war elephants. The first war elephants the Roman legionnaires had ever seen. They never saw them before. And the Greek king, Pyrrhus, immediately scored a victory in his first battle at Heraclea. Second time he beats the Romans again. He thought he was a latter-day Alexander the Great. But he routed the Romans, but he lost more than 7,500 of his most elite fighters, including many officers. He couldn't replace his casualties. That's called a Pyrrhic victory. You understand what I'm saying to you or not? So remember when Bush was president, I was a devout critic from very early on because I saw what he was doing. I was attacked roundly for months and months and months. They called me every name under the sun, the Bush bots. You're an underminer, you're this, you're that, you're working for the Democrats. And eventually everyone saw that Bush was a party man, a Republican, an RNC guy all the way, and they said, all right, you're right, so we got rid of him. So what's the conclusion here? There is actually a conclusion to be drawn. I think I've come to it, which is that it doesn't really matter who wins at a certain point. It almost seems to me that we're like like England, where the president is only a titular figurehead, and that the government runs itself. It runs on its own, in its own direction. And that's the way it's been for a long time. Presidents are just like the Queen, a figurehead, a royal figurehead. And we think that, they're for us, and one party here, he's mine, he's ours. But at the end of the day, it seems to me a lot of them are sort of impotent from the beginning. Obama was not, though. He was so skilled and such a liar and such a steadfast. The man could do anything. He was such a salesman. In fact, the latest poll is very intriguing. I gotta read this to you. You'll never believe this. Where is this? I just saw this a second ago. I read so much, but I get distracted. I try to go back to the story, then they have the nude pictures on the right side. Everywhere you go, there's like softcore pornography in these newspapers, like in the right panel of the Daily Mail. I'm trying to read a serious story. This one's bathing suit fell off in Mexico. That one got hit by a wave. That one can't get out of an airplane seat. I never saw anything like this. You're trying to read a story. It's like crazy. Kid Rock begins outlining platform. This guy, Raid, I can't wait for who was this guy? He was President Trump's guest at the White House. That one's going to run for office now? Why not? Figures if Trump won, why can't he? Maybe I'll throw my hat in the ring. I'll run. I'll run like from a fire. I'll run away from it. Who would want a job like that? Yeah, I want it all my life. Senator Savage, great. That's what I want to be, like Al Franken. The guy gave up a good career as a bad comic to become a worse politician. Who would want to leave a bad career as a comedian, a terrible, rotten, ugly comedian, and become a senator, but Al Franken? What good did it do him? What does he get out of it? I don't even understand why anyone would want to be in office. That's why we don't attract the best and brightest. It's like, who would want that job? Would I want to be a senator? Let's say I'm throwing my hat in the ring. I'm running for office. Yeah, Mike, run. I could raise $100 million in 3 months. You want me to tell you that right now? 3 months I could outraise anybody that I ran against. But I'm not going to do it. Why would I want to be in the Senate? What for? I want to move to Washington, rent a townhouse, live near Jared Kushner and Ivanka, not get invited to cocktail parties. Well, let's say if I did get invited to some. What's the difference? Every night I'm going to put on shoes? I don't wear shoes now if I can avoid them. Why would I want to be a senator? I have to put on a suit and tie every day and listen to the hogwash. Why? Can't ever express what you really believe because you won't last too long. Now, I'm going to give the challenge to everyone in the media. I start every show, if I can remember, and it's not every day, I try to, by putting my hand on the Holy Bible that I've had with me for over 40 years, with the numerous Post-its in it, which you will see when God, Faith, and Reason comes out in October. And I make a little prayer, making believe I'm in a court of law. And I say, I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God. I give you the savage challenge to everyone in the media. I don't care what division you're in. Why don't you take out a Bible and swear in it to yourself? Not for effect that you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Why don't you see if it doesn't affect you positively, because it will. You'll find out that if you break free of the chains of your boss and of thinking over who's listening, what's he going to say, what are they going to tweet, just tell the truth the way you see it and see if the country doesn't get to be better. That's all. So what we're talking about, did we win a Pyrrhic victory with Trump? Obamacare dead. Deal with Iran certified, even though he said he'd rip it up. No wall, no tax relief yet. It's early. I get it. So I told you what a Pyrrhic victory is, which is you win the battle, but at such great cost that, in essence, you lose the war. You win the battle, but you lose the war. According to the ancient historian Plutarch, the warrior king, the Greek, the warrior king Pyrrhus, won so many battles against the Romans, but he lost so many great men that morale plummeted within his own ranks. And so, according to the ancient historian Plutarch, the warrior king Pyrrhus was quoted as muttering the following: "If we are victorious in one more battle with the Romans, we shall be utterly ruined." So what am I getting at? What I'm getting at is, yes, Trump has done some good things. Don't get me wrong. I know we got this guy Gorsuch in, but I'm not so sure about him, incidentally. I think it's another Roberts in disguise, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. I think we're going to get another Roberts job. So I could list Trump's achievements to date, no question about it. There are some very good ones. But I don't like the direction we're going in. I can be positive. I can list Hillary's lies and how bad it would have been under her. I've done that. But what's the point of how long can we keep doing that? There was a time we have to stop that, right? So, okay, fine. So there's been some victories. We got them. Good. And Hillary's terrible. She would have been worse. Got it. We know he's not yet built the wall, has not repealed Obamacare, not cut taxes, not fixed the military. It's still a social experiment. What about the Iran nuclear deal? Oh, I'm sorry, he just certified it. Duh. I guess now I'm a communist because I said that. He has not unified the country. Can't blame him for that. Has the Veterans Administration been fixed? I doubt it. Any new trade deals? Not pulled out of NAFTA. Has he eliminated Common Core education? Has he removed Syrian refugees who flooded in under Obama? Has he stopped them from coming in? Any tariffs on China? Dreamer program, has it been eliminated? Has he eliminated the H-1B visa program? Has he enacted term limits? Has he appointed a prosecutor to lock her up and investigate Hillary? Has he gotten rid of all the Obama holdovers in the government? Has he defunded Planned Parenthood? Has he defunded NPR? Has he broken up Apple, Google, Microsoft, and Amazon, the monopolies that continue to grow? Okay, I'm just leaving the questions out there. Why? Because I'll get out the Bible again. I swear to tell the truth, and nothing but the truth. If it's unpleasant, I can't help it. I'll be right back.
Join the Savage Nation. Call now, 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-7282. Savage.
The Savage Nation is sponsored by Swiss America, the only company I trust with my financial future. Call 800-289-2646 or Swiss America.
For 7 years, I've been hearing repeal and replace from Congress, and I've been hearing it loud and strong. And then when we finally get a chance to repeal and replace, they don't take advantage of it. So that's disappointing. So I'm I would say I'm disappointed in what took place. It will go on and we'll win. We're going to win on taxes. We're going to win on infrastructure and lots of other things that we're doing. We've won and are winning the war, as you know, on the border. We're very much decimating ISIS. You can see that. You see that better than anybody sees it, the soldiers that are with us today. We've had a lot of victories, but we haven't had a victory on health care.
All right, he's right about that, so blame the Republicans, which you can certainly do. We know they're a bunch of liars. Page 45, Trump's war to repeal Obamacare. Read you one paragraph at the risk of your displeasure. Republicans in the House of Reps have been repealing Obamacare for 6 years when it didn't matter, knowing it was merely a symbolic vote since Obama was still in the White House and Democrats held a majority in the Senate. Even the rhinos took the opportunity to show what tough conservatives they were for their long-suffering constituents. They voted 6 times to repeal the law in its entirety, with almost 50 other votes to repeal or delay parts of its provisions. But now that the vote is no longer symbolic, repealing this monstrosity seems to have become a lot more complicated. You can read it yourself in Trump's War. It sold a lot of copies. Share it with a friend. But the fact of the matter is, more of you need to read Trump's War because this is the architectural plan. Here is the roadmap for the conservative revolution that occurred when we went to the polls and elected Donald Trump. Now, maybe if he read the book, or at least the bullet points, we'd get a little further down the road of what we want. Savage solutions, there are 4 of them. 1, recognize the healthcare system was broken before Obamacare and why. 2, fix the crony capitalist FDA. 3, mandate insurance availability for individuals across state lines. 4, raise the eligibility age of Medicare. That's a big one. 5, mandate copays for Medicare and Medicaid. These are solutions. You got it? I specialize in solutions. Anyone can bellyache day and night. So I'm giving you solutions. Let's look at fix the crony capitalist FDA. Oh, really? Who's running the FDA under Trump? The Food and Drug Administration. Another apparatchik, drug company plant. Same thing all over again. The pharmaceutical industries actually love Obamacare. They've never made so much money in their lives. So now you know the answer. It's that simple. Money talks and you know it walks, right? So the pharmaceutical industry won. They didn't want the repeal. They bought the votes that they wanted. And they bought the no votes that they wanted, and then they continued to make more money than they ever have in history. So it's the pharmaceutical industry that is the problem here. And that's that problem solved. Any other questions? Because I have the answers, 855-407-282. This is the Savage Nation. Did we win a Pyrrhic victory with Trump? Read the Obamacare chapter in Trump's War. Trump has reversed his campaign promise that he's going to rip up the Iran deal. He certified the Iran deal. Are you grieving over the Trump presidency? List Trump's achievements as president to date. We've done all of that. It's been a great 3 hours. I'm glad you've been with me. Thank you for listening. See you tomorrow.
Savage.